What's going on? Last low quality video on the channel. I got some mics coming, I got some cameras, I got good stuff coming. We're gonna have a whole setup. We're gonna go through stuff in depth. So I just have to get this video out just to kind of bring you guys up to speed with what I'm thinking for week one. I just don't want to show up week two and claim that I did so well week one without, kind of showing you guys where I was really at. I could obviously just show you bet slips and, we'll do that stuff in the future, but let me just take you through this one last low quality video on the channel. Cringe, do whatever you gotta do to get through it, but this is important because I'm really dialed in and I'm taking this very, very seriously. We're gonna be dropping well over $1,000 per bet this year. Not week one, but we're gonna get there. So if you guys want to really, really put a dent into the season, college football and NFL, this is it. It's all I do. I'm like halfway decent at basketball. Can't figure out baseball for my life. Football every year, 5-digit profit every single year, and I'm not rich. We're winning 80% of our bets over here. So let me take you through week one. We're gonna do a teaser, and a big one. And I know people always freak out about that, and there's reason to. You lose value on teasers. Most people are suckers. They always take the wrong sides for the wrong reasons, and that's why they call it a teaser, because most people get sucked into the wrong side. You got to get your legs right for different reasons. I'm not going to make today's video too in-depth because it's so low quality. I'm still just using the cheap camera and stuff. But I got to let you know what I'm thinking. And the reason behind the teaser week one is just because so many of these games are so flippy-floppy. I just couldn't find enough individual games which I liked. Like, I like Florida as a home dog to beat Utah, right? I like that small upset. West Virginia, backyard brawl. I like them. I can't believe the spread is 7.5. I cannot believe it. That's free money. If Pittsburgh wins, sure, I could see Pittsburgh winning, but 7.5 over a full touchdown. So there's like two examples, but I really don't like anything else. I just couldn't find enough games to bet on individually. So we're going to do a teaser. I kind of like teasers week one because you get that extra safety net, and we're going to build a lot of points into this one. It's going to be a 5-leg 14-point teaser. 5-leg 14-point teaser. The ultimate sucker bet. The ultimate bet that people always do. They bet the wrong side and they get screwed. They're always going 4 for 5, and I just crush teasers. I just always get teasers right. And there's a reason for that. You got to bet the opposite way that you would do for an individual game for a teaser. So let's go over the teaser. No need to keep talking. We got too much to cover today. And let's just break this teaser down. I'm going to go through each game super quickly, let you guys know why I chose that. And so 2 teasers, you want to split your money. If you're going to use $100 for week one, do 50-50. If you're going to use $1,000, do $500 apiece. The reason we're doing 2 is because one of the games we're actually going to split, and we're going to take both sides. One side in one teaser, one side in the other, with the other 4 legs being the same. So game 1, West Virginia. Obviously, we're taking West Virginia. Don't worry about the West Virginia hat and the fact that I went to school there. I like winning money. This is business. I don't care that it's my school. This is just a no-brainer. When you're doing a teaser, you want to always have the points over what you think is actually going to happen. Backyard brawl. The total's at 51.5, right? Good defenses, a lot of energy, a lot of grit, maybe a little bit of rust on the offense in week one. A little bit of jitters, some miscommunication, stuff like that. And when you see a low total, when you see a total set to 51.5, and you take a 7.5 point underdog and you add 14 points to it, and you get over 3 full touchdowns, no brainer. We all know it's a lock. So West Virginia plus 21.5 will be your first leg. I think they could win outright. They just need one handout, one kick return, one pick six, one bad fumble deep in Pittsburgh's own territory. One little handout like that, and that'll be the flip. If it's a clean game on both sides, Pitt might squeak it out. But I'm thinking West Virginia just needs one simple break to win. But even if they make a mistake, they're not going to lose by 21.5. JT Daniels, too much talent. Week 1, rivalry, energy. They're going to fight to the end. 21.5 in a game or the total is 51.5. That's a lock. So West Virginia is leg number 1. Scroll down here, leg number 2. I was thinking about doing Virginia Tech, but when you do 14, you get 6.5 on the other side. I don't really like Tech that much this year anyway. West Virginia is going to absolutely smoke them, even though it's in Tech. But here's our second. Wow, it went up even more. So you guys want to do this immediately. If you're just seeing this video, pull up your bet slip and get this done immediately, because this spread continues to go up. And you don't want it to go up anymore, because TCU is the second leg. And right now they're a 14-point favorite. 14-point favorite. So basically we just have a money line. It's a 14-point teaser. So this will get us down to just needing them to win. This leg might actually be a little bit of a sweat. It's just a little fishy because there's just a tremendous amount of money on TCU. Home game for Colorado, but at the end of the day, TCU has really good quarterback play. 2 quarterbacks, a good battle there, which means both quarterbacks are on their A game. They're freaking fired up. They've been locked in, and even if one gets hurt, there's another one to fill in, so it's not like you have an X factor that can screw you. And Colorado, man, the only thing going for Colorado in this game is just the fact that it's the first game of the year and it's home. Maybe that's enough energy for them to fight. But the other thing that made me choose TCU for this leg is the Vegas movement. This opened at 7.5. It's almost moved a full touchdown. A full touchdown. Vegas. You don't think Vegas likes TCU? They moved, despite the amount of money that came in on TCU. When you see a line that goes from 7.5 all the way to 14, does that mean they're going to cover 14? Not necessarily, but are they going to win the game? Absolutely. Absolutely. They're not going to flake and lose to Colorado. TCU leg number 2. Enough said. Number 3, Ohio State. Ohio State. I know. I don't like the big number. I wish it was a little bit lower so we could get inside of a field goal. I would hate to somehow see Notre Dame show up and just play like their life is literally dependent on the game, and Ohio State squeaks away with a field goal victory, and we get screwed by the hook. But too much firepower. They're too good. That's Bama 2.0. They're right there. They're right there at Bama. Home game. New coach at Notre Dame. Just too much offense. Too much offense. I mean, they're going to just score at will. I think Notre Dame's ranked 5th in the country just for TV views. I think they're just trying to hype up the game. But Notre Dame is like a 20 in the country, a 23. They should be ranked back in the 20s. Not number 5. That's just for a top 5 matchup. Hype the game up. Notre Dame is not that good. At home, Ohio State takes care of business. We're laying the 3.5. Pretty comfortable there. Leg number 4, Utah. Now, what did I say a few minutes ago? I liked Florida with the upset. But when you're betting on a teaser, you got to think which side isn't going to get wrecked, right? Which side has a lower probability of being blown out? And obviously, Utah, coming in highly ranked, they got a stout defense. They can run the ball. Experienced team. They mean business. Some people think they're going to be in the playoff this year. If they do lose this game, it will not be by double digits. And when you're doing a 14-point teaser, the spread's down at like 2.5, I think, depending on what book you're using. You're still going to have a full 10.5, maybe even a little bit more points in your back pocket. You're going to have that full double-digit safety net. If Florida does pull this upset off, it's not going to be by more than 10. It's going to be a last-second field goal. Maybe it's a tie game. A couple seconds left, they throw a Hail Mary. Okay, they still win by 7. You're good. It's not going to be a double-digit win. Not going to be a double-digit win. And this is where people get screwed on the teaser, right? Because they think, they start thinking about this Utah-Florida game. And they're like, all right, well, I think Florida's going to pull the upset off, but I'm just going to tease them just to be safe. Well, then you're going against the team that's actually good. And you think being home with the crowd, the extra points, 2 full touchdowns worth of a safety net. But then Utah shows they really are 7 in the country. They go into the swamp and just show up and put a beating on Florida and really prove to everyone that they mean business this year. And then you get screwed. That's your sucker bet. Tell all your friends you really believe Florida's going to win the game, but just to be extra safe, you're going to tease Florida. And then you get screwed. They fall flat. And they show you why the program's kind of been a mess for a couple of years. I think Florida wins, but there's no way that Utah doesn't cover 10. So that's kind of one of those games where people usually get the teaser pick wrong. They just tease Florida. They think having so many points at home is plenty in a game that they think Florida's going to win anyway, and Utah just puts a beating on them. So I'm thinking Florida wins by a single score. 3 to 7 points will be the margin of victory. I think Florida gets it done. So comes down to our last game, Purdue and Penn State. Now this one's very, very difficult. This one could be a sweat. I almost just did a 4-leg teaser and left this one out. And you can certainly do that if you want. I just wanted a little bit more of a payout. Those other 4 legs are 100% a lock. If you don't want to touch this last leg, do the 4. I think it'll be minus 150 odds. You know, not a huge payout. I think if you risk like $150, you'd win 100. So if you put $1,500 on it, there's your $1,000 profit, right? That is a lock. That is going to hit the other 4 for sure. This one I threw in just to get better odds. And like I said, we're going to split it. So we're taking both sides in this game. It's at Purdue. I think they have a 5th-year, extremely experienced, very, very good quarterback. Lost some talent, but they should have enough. Being week 1 at home, tough place to play, pretty good team. Penn State isn't quite the Penn State we're waiting for. They might be like 1 year away from truly being maybe even a Big Ten champion, competing with Ohio State. So I just think they're not quite there, or they're at least not quite there in week 1. But I think they're much better than Purdue. So I do think Penn State wins. But when you split the game, you get both sides. Being a 14-point teaser, you're going to have over 17 points with Purdue. 17 and a half, the all-important hook. 17 and a half at home, at Purdue, a place where they've just been pulling off upset after upset after upset. Are they going to pull this one off? I don't think so. I think Penn State is going to win. But by more than 17 and a half at Purdue, I find that hard to believe. And on the flip side, we'll still have a 10-point safety net with Penn State. So Penn State does slip up, blow the game, lose their opener at Purdue, and get upset. I think it'll be a close loss. I just can't see either team getting blown out. Should be pretty competitive. Both teams can score. There should be enough grit to keep it close, being week 1. And I think you're looking at a Penn State victory between 7 to 10 points. Almost double digit, but not quite. Like a comfortable, but not blowout win for Penn State. So we're splitting those games. So again, you got WU, Ohio State, TCU, Utah in in both teasers, and then you're splitting the Penn State and Purdue game. Utah's -3 now. All right. So yeah, things are looking good. I like to lock in my bets. Not quite too close to game day, but not too in the distance. I don't like the sharp money that comes in at the end. Then you're getting screwed out of 2 or 3 points on your teasers, and you're going to be off of those key numbers. You know, if this Utah spread jumps to 4.5, then you're really pushing it. You might have to sweat because you're going into Florida with less than 10. I just like those key numbers when you're betting teasers. You want to pick those thresholds that get you over the key number. You know, you take a slight underdog and you get them past 2 full touchdowns of a safety net. You know, you take a big favorite, you get them all the way down to where they just need to win the game. Stuff like that. You got to look at those key numbers: 3.5, 7.5, 10.5, 14.5, 21, stuff like that. So there we go, guys. Sorry for the low quality video. I got some cool stuff coming. By week 2, we should be rocking and rolling, and we'll do games individually, go in depth, and man, really make some tremendous money. This is exciting. It's back. We're here. So make sure you guys just subscribe to the channel, and see you in the next video.